how do you personally judge an athlete's success within college rowing at UVA or within your team, like just within your team? And obviously, athletes have their own judgment of success, right? Like, win a national championship, this and that. And obviously, every coach, if you're in this business, there's you're competitive, you want to win. But you brought an interesting point in that presentation about, I also judge them based off, or I judge myself based off who they become down the line, right, in their professional paths and who they are as an ass or as a person, as a mother, right, as a parent. And can you expand upon that a little bit in terms of just how you observe your success as a coach in through the path of the athletes that you've coached?
Yeah. First of all, I even said this a couple years ago. Said, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. I'm not in a position to judge you. I can assess you. I'm assessing you. There's a big difference between judging and assessing. Huge difference. And so what I say to people all the time, they get wrapped pretty tight, as you said, like a high school kid, like, okay, I got to do this 2K. Then nobody's going to be interested in me. I'm not going to be able to go to college. Oh my gosh, same pressure academically, from various, whether it's parental or counselor or just themselves, like, oh my gosh, I got to do this, I got to do that, and then that kind of, straitjackets them a little bit, versus just allowing them to do what they're capable of. And so I said, look, I'm just assessing you. I'm not judging you, right? I'm just going to put you in a position where hopefully training wise that you are really, really confident in what you're going to be able to do. If you look at it academically, you look at a test coming up, people that are stressed about a test, usually it's because they haven't prepared. They're going to, and with a test, sometimes you can get away with cramming. With an erg test, you can't cram the night before. That doesn't work, right? It doesn't work great with, academic tests either. But I said, look, if you do the work, you're going to walk into the exam, whether it's a 2K or a physics exam, confident because of the work you've done. And this is the same approach to what we're doing athletically, is if you do the work and you see the results of training, then you go, I'm good. I'm going to nail this, because you've done your homework, literally and figuratively, and there's also physiologically, there's a, the thing with the brain, you probably heard about this, but like when you go in and you're like too nervous, you can be a little bit nervous, but too nervous and apprehensive about something coming up, it releases cortisol, right? And cortisol is not a good thing. It'll inhibit you, but if you can talk to yourself and say, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to nail this sucker. I'm going to do this, and you talk yourself into it and it's not released and bang, you can do it. And so you don't want to inhibit all the training you've done by how you approach it, so those are kind of things that we talk about. And so what we're looking for in people as we recruit people and as we coach them is people that can be resilient, under pressure, because it is pressure, and we know sitting at the starting line, it's pressure packed, whether it's on the water or on a 2K erg test or whatever it is, looking for people that are resilient, that are able to have things happen to them and can respond positively to that. Not everybody's wired that way, so we're looking for those kind of people, but high integrity, high character. And obviously what I say to parents when they ask the question, I said, look, you've done a really good job with your kid. I just want to try to keep that going for you and for them, as best I can, some kids come from way different backgrounds and they, it's like, it's been a tough road for them. And so I look at my job and say, how can I help them embody, even more character and integrity into their lives and show them how you are as a person is primarily the most important thing. And so I think people that have been coached by me over the years would say that, like, that I take that very seriously, that I coach them not just for speed, but for how they are as a person, as best I can. And so I have this, I stole it from a guy out in California, rugby coach at Cal named Jack Clark. It'll look him up. Pretty cool dude. 26 national championships in rugby. And there's not very many varsity rugby programs. I get it, like 10 or 12, but I don't care if there's 2. If you win 26 times, that's pretty impressive, right? So anyway, his thing is entitled to nothing, grateful for everything. So that's on a 90-foot banner, right? 4 feet wide lettering in our erg room with rowing images in the lettering, right? It's that important to me. Entitled to nothing, grateful for everything. And it's above the door going into the boathouse and all that kind of stuff too. So it's really, really important. And that you have to earn everything you get. Nobody's going to give it to you, you know? And a lot of times in this day and age, people don't really think that. I think you should just get it. You know, I go, no, you got to earn it. And then you do earn it. That's great. You do great. And you're grateful for it though. You know, a lot of people say attitude of gratitude, you know, gratefulness is the absolutely most important thing that you can do. I tell kids all the time, when you get up in the morning, think of the things you're grateful for. I do it every morning when I wake up, you know, it's like, what am I grateful for? And it changes your day. You may get up on the wrong side of the bed, right? People do that all the time, right? You're tired. It's like, oh, I got to, you know, whatever, that kind of stuff. But if you think about what you're grateful for every day when you get up, it'll change your day. And so I tell that to the kids all the time. And sometimes they're walking in and I say, what are you grateful for today? And they go, oh, you know, whatever. I say, come on, just think about it, you know? And then when they do that, they're going like, yeah, I'm grateful for this and that. And so you got it pretty good, you know? You know, the Harbaugh's family, the football coaches, you know? Yeah. So what Jack, the older one, right? The dad with Jim and John, right? He growing up, all they said was, who's got it better than us? Probably heard that on TV.
Yeah. Okay. That's, I didn't know I didn't know the backstory to that. Okay.
Yep, yeah. That's the Harbaughs. That's how those boys, both NFL coaches, right? Are you kidding me? The boys both, and that's incredible, right? So, but the dad would just say that all the time to his family. Who's got it better than us? You know? And even if you don't have it that great, if your dad and mom are saying that to you all the time, you're going to believe it, right? And so that's the brain, like almost sometimes tricking you into believing like we got it great, you know? And so no matter what your situation is, who's got it better than us? What are you grateful for, you know? And so I think that's really, really paramount in what we try to do here, and also what I try to do as a coach is try to embody that and embed that in them, and hopefully it'll help them down the road. And then we've had incredible, like out of our program in the last 25 years, we have either in med school or residency or doctors, over 65 doctors out of our program. That's average over 2 doctors a year. And, you know, that's just really cool, you know, and PhD, like over 20 PhDs, you know, and a bunch of lawyers. And I'm not saying that being a doctor or a lawyer or a PhD is the most important thing, but it shows that people are striving for excellence every day and they learned a lot. There's a kid that came back, that graduated in 95, and her name's Libby Sherwin. And she had just gotten married and here locally. And she said, can I come by and watch practice and, you know, whatever. So I said, sure. And she's a neurologist, neurosurgeon, something like, she's way up there in the medical field. And so she comes by the boathouse and says, and asked to talk to the team. And I introduced her as a doctor and all that kind of stuff. And she goes, you guys, I don't know how else to put this, but listen to this man and sink your teeth into this sport, because everything that I was successful about is because of this. I never would have made it through med school. I never, for sure, would have made it through residency when you're on like zero sleep, right? And I kept rewinding to like, if I can do that, I can do this, you know? If I can do this rowing thing, I can do this. And so that's the kind of stuff where kids hear that and they go like, okay, got it, you know? Hear from not me, but from somebody else, you know, that's been successful. And it doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, construction worker, electrician, plumber, whoever, just do your job as best you can, you know, and be proud of that, you know, not prideful, but proud, you know? And so those are the kind of things that we try to embed in them. And we say all the time, this is really cool, Kevin, is that I get all these comments from like a bus driver, for example. There's this guy from Southwest Virginia. I'll do my best to do his accent. His name is Harley. Okay. And he said, Kevin, I've been driving a bus for 43 years, and this is the nicest group of people I've ever driven in my whole life. You know, and I go, thank you, Harley. I appreciate that. And who do I say that to? the kids. I say, that's what this is all about right there, you know? Or I hear parents say, like, your kids handled this situation with class, you know, or hotel staff. They were so respectful, you know, they said thank you, you know, all the time, and that kind of stuff, and respectful. And, you know, if you win, you lose it, you know, you do it with class, you know? And when I hear those kinds of things, I tell the kids about it. And I said, look, for me, yeah, we want to win races, but that is more important than winning races to me, because that's life changing and that's life long lasting, you know? And so I think that's the kind of stuff that yeah, we want to go fast, but we also want to be good people. And you can do both.